After eons of hullabaloo, or so it felt, the car came to a halt. I sat motionless in the middle of the dark street. I remember trees clumped on either side and houses set well back from the sidewalk, black-eyed and silent. And that hulk stretched somewhere behind me in the gloom. I noticed that I was alone, and I began to tremble. I peered to the right and left, waiting for the lights to go on, the mumble of voices to begin. Would no one take charge? How much time had passed? I looked at my watch, but the glowing dots meant nothing. I was alone. I never chose to flee. By God, I'll deny that to the end of my days. It was a bad situation. I made the best choice I could under the circumstances. I couldn't just park there in the middle of the street, after all. What if some drunken idiot came hurling around the corner and crashed into me? It would only make matters worse. I decided to pull over and collect my thoughts. But there was no place to pull over just there. You see, I had to turn the corner to find a space. And I saw no spaces there either. The street was lined with parked cars, so I had no choice. I had to drive on a ways to the next block and the next before I finally found a space, and even that was a red zone. I opened my window to let in the night air. My pulse began to settle, and I weighed what to do. Return to the scene and wait for somebody? How many hours might that take? How long would I have to sit in the dark alone with a corpse? No, I thought, no. Better to take some sort of action, any action. I would drive to the nearest phone booth. I thought I should call the police. That was my decision. Who could criticize that decision? My engine was still running. I took my foot off the brake, and the car slid forward. It was easy. No one had looked out and seen me pause there. Not a window was lit as I pulled away. I breathed easier knowing I was headed into the night to do the right thing. 2 blocks along, I came to a broad avenue with streetlights and storefronts, but none of the stores were open, and I didn't see a single phone booth. I tried another street and another with no better luck. Eventually, I decided to turn back, only to realize that I didn't know which way was back. Driving through a strange city in a fog, I'd never checked the street sign. Who would have? I had no idea where I was or where I'd been. Of course, I might reconstruct my route. That was a crazed inspiration for a moment, to find the hotel again and start my journey all over. But if I spent all night searching, what difference would it make to the man lying on that dark street? And another thought struck me. What if the corpse had already been found? Sweat broke out on my face as I pictured the scene. Police cars, their lights rotating and flashing, the crowd of horrified onlookers, an ambulance, a stretcher, a white sheet, and me trying to explain to some hard-eyed officer where I had been all this time. Nothing I said would weigh to my advantage. Going back was no longer an option. Vehicular manslaughter, that phrase came dancing up. The facts that proved my innocence were too subtle to convey. Anyone who judged me now could not help but commit a fearful injustice. Just then a sign loomed up in the mist announcing Highway 17, my direction home. With a lurch, I realized I had the power to prevent other people from committing the brute injustice of misjudging me. Under the circumstances, look, it was the best thing to do. Not a good thing. I don't say it was a good thing, but the best of a bad lot. I took the long, looping ramp up to the main highway. Justice demanded nothing less of me. And all the while, a voice kept dinning in my head, a promise to be good, starting tomorrow to be extra good.